Don't scroll. I was talking to some medical colleagues of mine who told me about a breakthrough, the cusp of a breakthrough. Do you know for the past 2 years they've been doing studies, brain wave studies on racist white men and women? And what they found was astounding. They found that racist white men and women, their brain pattern waves mimic that of someone who's an addict. It also mimics that of someone who has obsessive compulsive disorder, someone who has racing thoughts in their minds about their own addiction. When I heard that, I said, so wait, are you telling me racist white men and women are actually addicted to black people? She said, kind of, yeah. And I don't know why, but there was such a weight that lifted off of my shoulders. As a black woman in this country, I thought it was my responsibility to help racist white people. Come to find out, it's an actual medical condition. It really is a mental health condition. Me helping a racist white person is equivalent to an opioid addict asking heroin to please help them with their addiction. It's a them issue, and it's a medical them issue. I don't know why, but that makes me feel different this morning. You are loved, blessed, never alone. God bless you, humans.
There are 4 careers that white men adopt when they want the opportunity to be as bigoted or violent as possible without it being seen as a bad thing. The first 3 are grouped together. I call it the triple Ps: police officer, politician, pastor. You want to go around beating, killing, and otherwise harming black people and other racial minorities, but you know that the law prohibits it. The next step is to become part of the law. All you have to do is claim that you are in fear for your life, even though you're the one with the gun, and exploit a justice system that is already foundationally biased, and voila! You can commit racialized violence, and not only will you not be charged for it most of the time, people will call you a hero. Pastors get to be as corrupt as they want because hiding harm within religion is an American pastime. You want to convince a decent portion of black people that slavery was part of a divine plan or that it was a consequence for African spirituality. You want to boldly embrace fascism, promote transphobia, xenophobia, homophobia, misogyny. Become a pastor. Bonus points if conservatives can use you to spread Christian nationalism. And for politicians, I don't think I really have to elaborate, do I? The final career that is perfectly accommodating for racist white men is comedy. The idea that anything goes so long as it's a joke or funny has resulted in everything from minstrel shows to the roast of Kevin Hart. They can say they want to lynch a black person, but there's a laugh track behind it. It's funny now.
The higher up you go, the more racist and more conniving these people are. The higher up you go, the more education you get, the level of income, the more racist and rugged these people are. The more ruthless they are. They're ruthless with it. They won't hire you. Especially when you start making over $100,000, they're not gonna hire you. They'll give you all the, oh, we're so diverse. They're not gonna hire you unless the government forces them to. The government literally has to pass a law that says you have to hire a black person. And even then they complain about DEI.
I mean, imagine, you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized. And then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable? I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people. And you're still the way you are. I mean, a good example actually is African Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. they started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman, not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But you see, they come from a people of accomplishment to one degree or another, not a people of piracy and theft and appropriation. They come from a people who created and built and developed in their own countries, in their own land, in history.
You're not gonna notice racism until you start doing better than white people. Like, you're not gonna notice it. A lot of them are not gonna say nothing to you. A lot of them can tolerate black people now. Like, that's one thing that I've noticed. A lot of, like, they can tolerate black people just as long as you're in a position that's not, like, making them feel uncomfortable. Like, if you're like in a lower position, you have less money, you have less status or less education, then they feel very comfortable with you. They're not gonna say nothing to you. They're not even gonna bother with you. Like, by I mean tolerate is like, they can be cordial with you. They can say hello, greet you. Some of them might even be friends with you, but that's on the condition that you are not doing better than me at all. Like, I don't want you having more money than me. And if you do, they're gonna become friends with you and then try to get as much information about you to, like, sabotage your life in some way or some fashion. That's one thing that I've noticed. And it's not just white people. This thing is like with Hispanics, Asians. Is the world has this, like, this particular outlook on how black people should be and where we belong in this social hierarchy and social realm.
You can never pay me anything to be a racist in this life. Like, you can never pay me anything. In fact, a lot of them will come with these shenanigans of, oh, black people too are racist. Black people cannot be prejudiced. Black people too are racist. But over time, these people have fed, they have eaten, they have swallowed. In fact, racism cannot be erased for some of them because of how they have literally programmed their life to be, and of which is not supposed to be. You can hear from the first, second clip and third clip that I've been able to roll out for you guys, where them folks we even recount and understand that every single thing that is actually happening has never benefited it. Like, it has never, right from the days of John the Baptist that they started all of this thing, it has never been like a profitable end to them. But welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, let's dive right into other parts of this video. Watch, and I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch, guys.
I firmly believe that if we put all white people on one continent, there would be a new class system or race system that emerged. People would then start discriminating against blonde people, or there would be some sort of class system that's so severe that if you don't come from money, that you're not being helped. Because that's the thing, someone commented this to be like, oh, well, if we put all the white people on a continent, then crime will disappear. The implication behind this comment is that black and brown people are the ones who are committing crimes, and that's why racism is justified. But in reality, white people have been looking for ways to segregate and separate people for centuries. The concept of a race was invented because there was too much solidarity among workers, and so they wanted to find a way to make white workers feel better than black workers so that they wouldn't be able to unite and essentially unionize against people who were exploiting them, aka the white elite or ruling class. And you still see billionaires today profiting off of our division. If we all organized against them effectively, they would have to pay taxes. We wouldn't allow them to be billionaires in the first place, and yet white people are too busy creating racial division. So yeah, I firmly believe that if all white people were put onto a continent, racism wouldn't go away. It would just change form. So maybe like white people with brown eyes would be discriminated against. It'd be some arbitrary factor.
I don't know how many times I have to remind people that white people are not the morality standard, socioculturally, sociopolitically, geopolitically, historically, on the basis of humanity, because white history, imperialism, colonialism, and the delusion of white supremacy are the most violent, unethical, and illegitimate systems of oppression that have never been reprimanded, and white people have never paid reparations for the harm that they have done to black and brown people across the globe. Mind you, they could never pass the purity test that they are obsessively trying to give black women on a daily basis, because that would require being honest about history, about their place in it, their role in it, past and present, about the fact that chattel slavery still exists. It never went away. here on U.S. soil and beyond. Genocide never ended here on U.S. soil and beyond, and the cognitive dissonance is coming from the fact that white people do not register that they are still a part of the oppressor class. As long as they have not been reprimanded, as long as reparations have not been paid, they are the oppressors. They are not the puritanical morality standard. And because they have evolved epigenetically with unreprimanded colonialism, imperialism, and the delusion of white supremacy, they automatically see themselves as authoritarian figures, which is why they are constantly trying to establish themselves as cops and police everything black and brown people are doing. The police state was designed to be a continuation of genocide and a vehicle for chattel slavery that specifically targets black people. White people could use their privilege to solve these problems, but they choose not to. They are not targets of the police state. They have the privilege, they have the resources, they have the systemic power, and they choose not to. White leftists specifically, who are constantly spouting 200-year-old theory by European white men that was not designed to solve the systemic issues of racialized oppression in the West, could apply that theory that they are demanding everyone operate on, but they don't, because they don't want to. The only functional example that they have of Marxism, communism, socialism, etc. working is the Black Panther Party. They are not up to date in their theory. They have no history of that being a practice here in the West. We are not living in the East. This is the West, where racialized chattel slavery and genocide are the pervasive, continuous systems. Black and brown victimhood was designed to exist in perpetuity because the systemic oppression of white supremacy was never intended to not exist. If white people genuinely wanted liberation, they could, but they are oppressors. Oppressors are not liberators, which is why they are constantly trying to derail black and brown effort. Always. And they have this internalized white supremacy, this internalized white cis heteropatriarchy, this internalized colonialism and imperialism that, again, they have epigenetically evolved with. Which is why they are not working to uninternalize it. And unfortunately, when it comes to politics, when it comes to intersectional leadership, like black women, for example, these are the same people who don't recognize that they are already operating within a base level of misogynoir and subconscious and conscious bias. And they are trying to push purity tests on black women to affirm that bias, that confirmation bias, that black people can't be trusted. If you are white, why do you think you should be trusted? What have you done for black people? What have you done for brown people? What land have you given back? What reparations have you paid? That European theory, again, that's 200 years old, you haven't applied it. You're trying to scapegoat black labor because y'all don't actually want to do it. Because you can look at things theoretically when you're a part of the oppressor class and when you're not actually experiencing the subjugation that you are perpetuating. But also, black people, let's not pretend like our community does not have a real history of attempting to bypass and avoid and deny black victimhood. And that is internalized white supremacy. When you are black and your critique of black women is only garnering celebration from white people, there is a blind spot in your liberation. There's a blind spot in your politic. And I'm not saying that black people are above criticism, that black politicians are above reproach, but there is something very odd about being black and being a soft landing space for other people's misogynoir, for their white supremacy. And that is what is happening. And there are these fake white leftists who are claiming, I'm critical of everybody, da 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 da. But then if I go to your reply on Threads, why is there 100 critiques of black women and no critiques of white people? There's receipts. You can see people's replies on Threads. Why are you constantly in black people's comments arguing, trying to dissuade black leadership? Because that is what white leftist politic is. White leftists do not understand that they are the modern day white liberals that black leaders warned us about, because the white liberals evolved, or devolved, as I should say, into moderate conservatives. And white leftists have now become the white liberals. The reason why you think that nothing you're saying is misogynoir is because you're still an oppressor. In a world where racism still exists and the delusion of white supremacy is the pervasive and dominating societal system, you will never run out of white people to correct. You will never run out of white people to convert from racist to non-racist. But unfortunately, black people, brilliant black people who do have valid criticisms, there are so many white people looking at your dissent of black people, of black women in leadership, as a way to scapegoat their white supremacy. They are looking to hide behind you. I'm not saying this is true of every single black person who's critical of black women in leadership, but what I'm saying is that there are more racists than not. And there are very few white people who really completed that uninternalizing of white supremacy, that decolonizing, that deconstructing. Very, very few. Very few. And everybody white thinks they're the exception, and they're not. Which is why most people's politics continues to fall apart on misogynoir and anti-blackness. White people, does not matter your political affiliation, your demographic, white people overwhelmingly put a fascist in office. That was your community. Doesn't matter if you're a communist, a Marxist, a Democrat, a socialist, you're whatever. It doesn't even matter how you voted. What matters is the overwhelming majority of your community, voted for this. So you're not in a position to puritanical politic with anybody. You should be puritanical testing your own community. Puritanical morality police white people. Because y'all have done nothing for black people. Y'all have done nothing for black improvement. Y'all have done nothing for indigenous improvement, for brown people. Y'all have done nothing but continue to be the bully victims in every situation. Your critique needs to be primarily targeted at white people. You think that you have intellectually bypassed white supremacy through leftism, and you're still behaving as white supremacists, regurgitating white supremacy. And unfortunately, black people, we are guilty of intellectualizing our way through internalized white supremacy to avoid victimhood, to avoid the label of victimhood. We're already surpassing the oppressor. As long as chattel slavery still exists and has not been reprimanded, as long as reparations have not been paid, we're still operating in a system of white supremacy. And white people's opinion about politics, we've been subject to white people's opinions about politics, and look at where this country's at.
Well, y'all know it's Thursday, so I thought, hey, let's piss off some white people. White people, we need to talk. I mean, genuinely, we need to talk. Because what sits at the base of all of the other problems in this country is racism. I know, you're not racist. I'm going to give you all the benefit of the doubt for a minute. Genuinely believe that y'all have been taught this. Y'all learned it in your homes, and then you taught it to your kids, and then so on and so on. And racism will stay a cancer in this country until this problem is dealt with. Now hold your hand when I say this, okay? This is the first one. There are 3. Whiteness is made up. Here's the truth. White people didn't exist at all until rich colonizers needed a way to protect their power. For the 1600s, there was no such thing as white people. There were Italians, Germans, Irish, French, all different, all often fighting. But what happened was when Europeans started stealing native land and enslaving Africans, what happened is that the rich white people thought, oh shit, you know what? These poor Europeans might band together with the people being oppressed. So they invented whiteness. Whiteness is not a biological reality. It is a completely man-made construct. It was a promise from the rich colonizers to everybody else that you'd always be just a little bit above everybody else. I mean, you got land and you got to vote, privileges, while everybody else got nothing. And that fake racial line kept poor white people loyal to rich white people. And you see that still happens today. But biology, your skin color is 0.1%, 0.1% of your DNA. There is no white gene. You've been defending this paint shade like it's a bloodline. It's not. It's just a man-made construct. Okay, point 2. Here's the next lie. And this one's going to be a doozy for you. Still holding your hand. That God made white people superior. Sorry to tell you, he did not. Don't worry, I have receipts. The reason that white people believe that is because of the twisting of 2 parts of the Bible, the curse of Cain and the curse of Ham. First, Cain and Abel in Genesis 4. The short version is that Cain kills his brother and God curses him to wander the world, but he puts a mark upon him. That's it. No mention of skin color, no curse on his kids. But white preachers centuries later decided that curse, that mark, was going to be dark skin. That lie turned into the idea that black and brown people were cursed by God. What? And then, of course, white people needed biblical reason to be able to enslave people, so they used the curse of Ham. That's in Genesis 9, and the short version is that Noah gets drunk, Ham sees Noah, that's his son. He sees his dad naked. Noah curses Ham's kids, saying that his descendants will serve others. And that's where you guys got slavery from. Still no race, still no skin color. But European slave traders said Africans were Ham's descendants. Boom, suddenly slavery was God's plan. You can see that when you put these two stories together, that these two stories became the backbone of supremacy, right? The curse of Cain for color and the curse of Ham for slavery. Bad theology, worse history, none of it based in reality. God didn't curse black or brown people. Racists did. And then they blamed God for it. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to drop the secret words, "I learned something today." And like, repost, and follow for updates. And if you guys enjoy my content, you may want to go follow me over on YTube because, well, you know what's happening on TikTok. And line number 3, this one's going to be like a punch right in the nuts. I'm still holding your hand. You are not God's chosen people. That's not true. This pretending that white Europeans are God's chosen people, it is a complete and total fabrication. And it didn't come from the Bible either. It came from the British Empire after colonization. You have to remember that by the 1800s, Britain was ruling like half the planet, claiming that it was their divine duty to civilize the rest of the world. And then all of a sudden, in the 1840s, someone invented something called British Israelism. No, I'm not kidding. The claim is that the British, and then by extension, later Americans, white Americans, were the lost tribes of Israel, that God's promise to Israel to rule nations and inherit the land is really about them. No proof, no DNA, just ego in a Bible costume. And they used that to justify everything. Colonizing America, stealing native land, enslaving Africans. Because if they were God's chosen people, and conquest wasn't theft, it was destiny. And that's how the whole concept of manifest destiny took shape. And just for clarification, British Israelism is the thought that white people were cast out of Israel and they were part of the 10 tribes, the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Israelis, guys, would have been olive-skinned people that looked much more like me than white people. This became the holy cover story for the entire British Empire. God didn't give them land, they took it. They were never Israelites. They stole that story from genuine Israelites. So let's tell the truth, okay? Here, still holding your hands. Whiteness is made up. The Bible verses are twisted. Chosen people story, straight up stolen from Israel. And it was all created so that rich white men could hold power and convince the world that oppression was holy. It's not divine. It's a scam dressed up as destiny. And until we deal with these lies, which constantly create friction, that racism will be a cancer in this country. I hope at the very least, if you are a white person that watched this, who holds racist beliefs, I genuinely hope this caused you to at least question some of the things that you hold to be beliefs are potentially a lie.
I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but saying that Black people were better off under slavery and Jim Crow because they committed less crimes is not a political opinion. Saying that Black women don't have equal cognitive functioning to white people, and if they are in high up positions, that must mean that they took a white person's slot, is not a political opinion. Believing that Black men who die because of police violence deserved it is not a political opinion. Saying that you don't believe 1 in 5 women are actually SA'd, so then 1 in 5 women must be lying, is not a political opinion. That is white supremacy and misogyny. And white supremacy and misogyny aren't political opinions. They're political violence.
One of the things that have limited these white folks so much, so bad, is the fact that they can never stop being racist. In the video that I uploaded even before this one, you can see white folks calling out themselves, calling out their parents, calling out their elder brothers, calling out their siblings, calling out their grandma, grandpas, for them teaching them what they are not supposed to do or what they are not supposed to know. And at the end of the day, I now start asking myself, this same thing that you have created, how has this literally benefited you? How this literally uplifted you? How really have this literally made you who you think you are. Because at the end of the day, you still see that majority of what is happening is black people are leading, black people are smarter, black people are still taking over, black people are still owning properties, black people are still owning business. So why do I need to be racist? Why do I need to put all of my energy in profiling someone that at the end of the day, that person is literally still going to be higher than me? That person is literally still going to be outstanding, still going to shine more than me. See, one thing I keep saying is this: if black people, black Americans especially, can go through segregation, Jim Crow, redlining, and every single thing, and then still survive, do you think that this little one you people are doing and you target racist, highly profiling is what they cannot? Anyways, one thing I'm grateful for in this generation, and I will keep saying, is the fact that some of these white folks understand what this has actually cost them, the detriment, and how this has actually dragged them back instead of forward. And a lot of them over time are trying to navigate, are trying to change their ways, are trying to make sure they forget all of these things called racism. While we still have some, no matter what you do, no matter how you preach, no matter how you're trying to explain, they will still be racist. They will still keep doing what they think is the best for them. They will still keep having that thing that their grandma, their grandpa has literally passed on to them that has literally not profited them. I have not seen anybody that will clap for his or herself and said, "Oh, for being a racist, I have made profit from being a racist. I've made profit as a white person just for highly racist profiling to so and so person." I have not seen, except for those ones that we go ahead, open GoFundMe, and because they have some racist clowns as well, they'll go ahead and they'll donate. But at the end of the day, what is actually turning up is actually still turning up that they are still getting farful, they are still getting karma. Because the truth is, if you know the right thing, do the right thing. If black people are not standing in your way, if black people don't even want to stand in the gap that will hinder your success, why do you think you standing in the gap, hindering their success and making black people feel like they are the problem will definitely work for you? It will not. Because check out most of those videos that I normally roll out, the clip where you see these Karens racially profiling, doing their racism of a thing. You will find out that over time, a lot of black people don't even put their mind with this. Like, they don't even send them. They just want to go on their way. They just want to do their thing. They just want to go outside there, get their money, make money, eat good food, wear good clothes, get a decent house, and live their life. But because these people have decided that this is the only bread and butter that we have, this is what we can swallow. Racism is something that cannot be erased out of our blood. You still see them doing such kind of things to a lot of black people. It's pathetic because you're doing this to people that are still Western strong. You're doing this to people that are still making it. You're doing this to people that literally do not even care about you. People that don't even see you. I can tell you for a fact. So I hope a lot of white people are actually watching this to see that racism never paid the bills. Racism is never achievable. So that in as much as possible, you can try disease from every single act of you being a racist. But anyways, who am I? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be Simba, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't also forget to come back for more delicious videos like this. Bye guys.